Good evening. At least it's evening where I am at the moment. If you're watching from a different continent, different part of the world, good morning, good afternoon, good day, depending on where you're watching us from. Just a little bit of housekeeping, really. Let's see. I hope today that my internet will work better because let's see. I'll chop off the first part of that's the good thing about live stream. You just chop off part of what you think does not need to be part of the recording. So I went running this morning, and as I was coming back, I was actually thinking something that has been on my mind for a while, and I thought, you know what? These are encouragements that I will re-encourage myself one day, so let me just put it out there anyway. My little boy is that kind of a human being that is very self-motivated. If I mean self-motivational people, I mean, he will get 100% from self-motivation. Recently, we started going out together for a run. So we've done a few runs, and the latest one we did was 5 kilometers. Before anything else, just when I say to my son, it's time to go for a run, he's very much motivated. He's really, when we did the last run, I was actually trying to catch up with him. And I was like, hey, wait for me. Wait. And I was literally screaming back because when he started running, his Kenyan gazelle came out of him and I couldn't stop him. He just was on it. But before I could get that boy to go to run, the moment his devices called him and he listens and responds and say, yes, device, I'm here, you will be fighting. You will tell him, let's go for a run, let's go for a walk, let's go cycling. Just be like, Mommy, can I do it when I'm done with this? Mommy, can I do it sometimes later? Mommy, can I? It's always an excuse. But when he's on it, you'll be fighting. I was telling him, stop. I kept on telling him, stop, until I got up and I was like, you know what? I'd rather just try. They say, if you can't beat them, then you better join them. And at some point, I just thought, if I can't beat this young man, I better join him anyway. And as I was reflecting about this nature of my son, I thought about the many of us, like me included, that you listen to a motivational speaker and you feel so charged, you feel like you're so amazed by what they are telling you. You leave that place and you're thinking like, I'm going to change the world. I remember when I was studying, there's a time when we were told to say our ambition in life, and we were joking with some of my colleagues, and I just ended up saying it as it was, which I was joking around about. I said, I'm going to go out there and change the whole world. So you live out motivated and you're thinking like, I am going to be the change. I'm going to change the entire world because I have been motivated. And then you leave and go back to home. Day one, you're still on fire. You're still like, I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to do. And then by the time you get to day 3 or day 4, the motivation begins to wear off. And slowly, it starts to feel a little bit like a chore. And slowly, you start to feel like, I don't want to do this anymore. Let's go back into total wellness. Let's go back into healthy eating. You're so motivated when you hear somebody talk about healthy eating, or you're scrolling on social media and then you see somebody who says, hey, by the way, I lost a significant amount of weight by doing ABCD. You jump onto the bandwagon, and once you jump onto it, you start like constantly encouraging yourself, and then all of a sudden you jump onto the scale and the scale does not do its thing. As I say, is disrespectful, and because of that, the motivation wears off. And once the motivation wears off, it gets to a point where you have to face the reality, and you're facing the reality of yeah, maybe I need to eat healthy, or I'm trying to eat healthy, but it's not really resulting into any changes. And because there's no significant transformation or no significant change in my weight or in this parameter or the other, discouragement starts to hit in. And once discouragement starts to hit in, then you start to miss a day. You start to eat anyhow, the motivation wears, as I said, and then you realize and you're asking yourself, so what else? What next? What can I do now that the motivation is over? And hence the reason why I was thinking about the difference between motivation and discipline. Motivation is so based so much on our emotions. It's based on our feelings. It's based on, I've been motivated enough. I have a high, like, adrenaline rush. I want to do it now. But then that's not gonna keep you forever. Once that rush is gone, once that person who was holding your hand is left, it gets to a point where you start to realize that you actually need systems in place, and those systems in place are the systems that will keep you going when the motivation wears off. Those systems are the things that will keep you encouraged when there's lots of discouragement, when there is a lot of noise around you, and it's the discipline that matters the most. And so I thought today I'm going to talk a little bit about discipline. Somebody once said to me, discipline means like doing the same thing, sometimes the same time, every single day until it becomes second nature. You can't tell me that you're disciplined enough just because you have been out for one workout and then you come out and then you say, well, I was really disciplined for that workout. No, you are disciplined for one workout, but you will only be a disciplined person. When I wrote something on my wall yesterday and I was saying discipline is where you're working yourself and bending yourself and sweating when nobody is saying. When there's no glamour, there's no trophy that you are getting from the whole thing. Behind the scenes, you have those systems in place that keep you, that you tell yourself that no matter what, no matter how, no matter when, no matter what is going on, I'm going to turn up, I will show up, I will repeat it. And as I've always said, repetition produces mastery, right? Once you repeat something over and over again, it gets to a point where you start to become a master of that thing. You master what you constantly repeat. So if you get to a point and you tell yourself, I will repeat it 1001 times. Somebody once said to me, before someone becomes an authority, and I can see lots of you with me tonight, before somebody becomes an authority on something, they must have invested thousands, I think it's 10,000 of hours doing the same thing over and over again. Doing the same thing. If you're going to show up today for an exercise, doing it once is not good enough. You show up every single day. That's discipline, because you have established mechanisms and you've established places, rules, and things in place that mean whether there is sunshine or there is rain, whether there is heat, it's winter, it's summer, is whatever, it doesn't shake you, because you show up irrespective or despite of. But if you are really basing your life and everything around motivation, you'll only be motivated when you see results. I can see you, Anna Rug. When you see results, then you're motivated. When you step on that scale and you see you are able to really, really see a miracle happening, and you see you are shifting, your body's changing, you are motivated. But if you have disciplines in place, irrespective of whether there is a result or not, you will stay on course. Whether there is a change in that, whether there is a shift on the scale or there's no shift on the scale, you will stay on course. Why? Because you have put in place systems that will help you. And let me tell you, when it comes to wellness journey, which I'm a big advocate of, wellness journey is not a one-off thing. You can't go to the gym today and then you work out like crazy and then expect you're going to have lasting differences in terms of your weight, your height, and height is predicament, isn't it? You can't change your height, but you get the gist of what I mean. You can't do it once and then expect, because I've worked out today, tomorrow I'm going to have a six-pack. It doesn't work like that. Because I showed up today, tomorrow I'm going to see a difference. No, it doesn't work out like that. Discipline means I'll show up today, I will show up tomorrow, I'll show up in winter, I'll show up in summer, I'll show up when everything is fine. When I'm on the mountaintop moments, I will show up. When I'm in the valley deep moments, I will show up. And sometimes somebody said, when it comes to some of these disciplines, it can be really boring, right? I've heard of people that eat the same type of breakfast every single day. I'm not that kind of a person. Confession is good for the soul. I can't eat the same breakfast every single day. I get annoyed and it just annoys me to do that. I love variety, right? But some people say they eat the same. I was speaking to another lady at church and she told me she wakes up at 5:30 every single day. She hits the gym and trains for 1.5 hours every single day. That's how discipline looks like. Discipline looks like if you're eating your food, you're sitting down with your food, you're present and you're enjoying and indulging in your food as it is without distraction. You're mindfully eating your food without anything coming in your way. And do you know what? Naturally, by nature, we are not disciplined people, because if you're looking at most of the time, the world teaches us to be spontaneous, right? Sometimes spontaneity is really good because there can be times when it's good to be spontaneous. I can spontaneously be motivated, but spontaneity will not keep you going on the difficult days. I've openly talked about my experiences, for example, after I've had my second baby. I struggle a lot with this thing called weight. And if I was to determine my motivation, my dedication, consistency, and workout on motivation, I kid you not, I will never wake up tomorrow and go for exercise. I will not wake up tomorrow and go anywhere, do anything, because it can feel sometimes discouraging, but because I have built systems in place that it's like the results motivate me, but they're not the ultimate goal. So whether they are results or they are no results, to me, I keep on going. I have one motto in life, and I always say is progress over perfection. For me, it's more showing up means the world to me rather than showing up and being the top, if that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, is mixing these two things, like, yes, results or no results, I'm still gonna show up, I'm still gonna turn up, I'm still going to do what I need to do, because at the end of the day, it's those rhythms that you set for yourself. And so I challenge to ask you, if you were to evaluate your life today, are you driven by being a spontaneous person? You spontaneously exercise. You like, when you feel like it, then you go for exercise. When you don't feel like it, then you don't do exercise. Or are you the kind of a person who has got disciplined strategies that you're thinking and you're like, you know what, whether I am motivated or not motivated, whether I get this done or not get done, I will still show up? Because most of the time, spontaneity is good because it can give you, as I say, that adrenaline rush that you need. It can help you to be able to, get yourself into the groove of things. But you cannot rely on a day-to-day basis on motivation only to keep on going. That's impossible. You cannot rely on motivation alone to be the stronghold or the thing that you're building your life on. That's impossible, because at the end of the day, if you're relying purely on motivation, it'll get to a point where that motivation will wear off. But if you have those strategies, systems, and things in place where there is results or there's no results, somebody shows up and doesn't show up, there's a turnout or there's no turnout, no matter what happens, you talk to yourself, constantly say to yourself, I will show up. I will repeat those things, as I said, until it becomes a mastery. Repetition produces mastery, that you're like day in, day out, come rain, come shine. Me and this thing, we are in it together. We are in it to win. We are in it to for the long term. Until it gets to a point where you are telling yourself that it has to become second nature. Repeat it until it hurts. Repeat it until you're like, you can do it from the back of your hand. Repeat it until you're like, at the end of the day, I know these things so well, so that when they're looking for someone that knows how to show up, when they want to reward someone that has the gift of consistency, your name will be among the list. They will say, you know what? If it is somebody that can't teach me, because you cannot teach me about consistency if you're not consistent yourself, right? You have to role model this well so that you can be able to role model it to other people, right? So, as I said, when my son is pretty much motivated, you will go with him running, and oh my world, you will be feeling sorry for yourself. But once the motivation wears, or once his tablet calls him and he says, yes, tablet, I'm here, you will try your best to get this boy out of the house, and it won't work. Why? Because he relies mostly, for his age, it makes sense. But when it gets to a point where you want to get something in life, motivation alone is not going to keep you. Motivation alone is not going to do it. You have to rise beyond motivation. You have to have those disciplines in life, rhythms that help you when you wake up in the morning. How does your day look like? Can you take an account of your day and say, since I've woken up this morning, I've done this. Some of us just waste our day away. You just, before you realize, you wake up in the morning, go back to bed, and you have nothing to account for, because you just spontaneous moments that help you go through the day. But when you're disciplined enough, you can sit down. It starts with things like, how do you prioritize your day? I once read a book, Steve Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and he talks about sometimes some of us, we when we are faced, I remember very well this, I'll never forget this. He said, if you're faced with 4 different things to do, one feels urgent, one feels important, one feels not urgent, the other feels not urgent but is not important, one is not urgent but is important, another one is not urgent and is not important. You can prioritize with those 4 windows that you come up with at the end of the day and say, this is how I'm going to tackle those things that are important and they're urgent, then go to those things that are important and non-urgent, like prioritizing your day. When you wake up in the morning, we all have 24 hours in a day. Elon Musk has just hit a trillion. It's no longer billion, trillion, whatever it is. But he has 24 hours, similar to you and me. So what brings that separation? What brings the difference between somebody who is achieving the things that we want versus those of us who are still struggling with the things that we want to have? And I think I can comfortably say the difference between success and not being successful is actually based on the systems that we build, and discipline is one of those. Is where you tell yourself, I'm gonna be very disciplined, that I will be disciplined with my time, I will be disciplined with my food. Some of us just eat spontaneously because we don't have discipline over, when I have, what are even your meal times? Can you sit down and say consistently, I eat my food at midday? Or sometimes you are spontaneous. I eat lunch today at 11, tomorrow I'll eat lunch at 5 p.m. The other day I'll eat lunch at 1 in the morning, because at the end of the day, if you're not disciplined, and it starts with how you show up in your day, how you show up in your daily rhythms, how you show up in your day-to-day living, it all counts and it all matters and it all adds up. So at the end of the day, it's a full package. Discipline comes through, like, for example, even for some of us who work, do you give your employer 100% of your time? Are you disciplined enough that when you're doing something else, you will not be sneaking on social media to check what is it all about? It calls for so many things. And when I'm telling you about it, it's not because I've made it. It's not because I'm really the most disciplined person. That's why I'm talking about this. I may be disciplined in turning up every day to go for an exercise, but there are areas in my life that if you tell me, I just go with spontaneity. But that's why I was thinking sometimes we have to really evaluate the whole picture, look at it from the whole holistic perspective, holistic view, like not just one area. And if there's an area that you've already won the battle of discipline and you're really good in that, what can you learn from that area, extrapolate it to the other areas so that you can be able to be an all-rounded human being? That was what I wanted to bring tonight, and I've seen lots of you who've been with me tonight. Thank you so much for your custom. If you're already done so, thank you so much. If not, why not just click on that like, share, subscribe button? You'll go a long way in supporting what you're doing. I've got to go. Actually came shopping, and when I'm shopping, that's sometimes when I get my inspiration for my ideas. And so after I finished shopping, I thought, you know what, I'm not going to go back home before I do this. So I have to go back to my kids. Have an amazing evening. I will see you again pretty much soon with another installment of something else I'll be talking about.